Today we're going to be learning about percent of change. And percent of change is another form of a proportion that we can use to figure out the difference between two numbers. So basically, a percent of change is a percent that compares the difference between two amounts to the original amount. A good example would be like your benchmark test. If you scored a certain number of correct on your benchmark test, and then the next test you got another amount right, we wanted to know what the percent increase is. And so basically what your formula is, you're still using the is over of equals the percent over 100. But we need to find one additional step, the difference. So in order to do that, the is part is going to be called the new amount minus the original amount all over the original amount. That's our comparison, the difference to where you started. A percent increase, all that means is that you're going up from the original number. So let's say in a basketball game you made 20 points, and in the next game you made 30 points. So that would be, we would find a percent increase because your score increased. A percent decrease goes down from the original number. So let's say that you went to Las Vegas and you started out with $200 at the blackjack table, but then you lost $100. So now you only have $100 left. So you've decreased the amount of money that you originally started with by a certain percentage. And so we're going to figure out how to get that percentage. So let's take a look at how that happens. Let's do a percent increase first. You're going to notice that the original amount is 12 and the new amount is 20. So since the new amount is larger, we know that we went up from 12 to 20. Now, to figure out what our percent of increase is, we're going to take the new amount, which is 20, minus the original amount, which is 12, all over the original amount, which is 12. And then since we're finding the percent, that means we don't know what it is. So we've got to use a variable over 100. So as you can see, it's simply a little bit more involved version of is over of equals the percent over 100. Now what I need to do first is subtract 20 and 12. Which gives me 8 over 12 equals x over 100. Now that we have two ratios that are equivalent to each other, we're going to cross multiply and divide. 8 times 100 is 800, 12 times x is 12x, and when you divide by 12, you should get a percent increase of 66.6 repeating percent. So in other words, we went up about 67% from our original score to our new score. The percent decrease, we do the math the same way. The only difference is, as you can see, the original number is larger than the new number. So the new amount is smaller. We've gone down. We still do the new number, 55, minus the original, all over the original. And we've got x over 100. We'll find the difference. 55 minus 80 gives us negative 25, and that's okay because negative numbers go down, just like a percent decrease is going to go down. All over 80 And now we cross multiply and divide. Negative 25 times 100 divided by 80 will give us negative 31.25%. And all the negative means is we've gone down, we've decreased. So sometimes we'll say a 31.25% decrease. And that means the same thing as negative 31.25%. Very commonly on the news, you'll see negative percents according to the stock market. They'll use negative percents to show that the value of a stock goes down.